Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Success Unboxed, our weekly chat show where we receive fantastic guests who are going to be sharing about their lives. This week is no different. We have a singing HR consultant. Yes, she sings, and she will be singing for us here live today. Michelle Raymond is much more than a pretty face. I absolutely love her voice. She is super cool, fantastic character, and she sounds very powerful. I don't think she understands the power of her voice. Maybe she does because she sings. Anyway, as well as doing HR and singing, she's also a fantastic business growth coach. But the cherry on the cake, as they say here in England, is on top of all that, she is a GuidedPR consultant. So she will be sharing a little bit. We don't want to talk about GuidedPR after all the emails that we received by the end of May, but she will explain a little bit what is it like, what we have to do, especially if you are in HR. Now, before I invite Michelle to come here and sit down and share a little bit about her life, let's watch a quick video about Michelle Raymond.
Hello, I'm Michelle Raymond and I'm the founder and the CEO of The People's Partner, which is a HR and coaching consultancy for growing businesses. Now, the HR side of the business covers absolutely everything for your growing business. We look after the recruitment, we look after remuneration, we look after the training, development, the coaching, anything to do with HR, pensions, private healthcare. That's what we do for you so that you can just get on with the things that are important to you. The other side of the business is coaching. It's the business coaching. It's when you want to now scale and grow your business and you want to make sure that you are fit for purpose to scale your business. Now, for me, business has to be like a family. I like to really understand what matters to you, and I want to make sure that I meet your every need. If I can't do it, I will find the answers or find somebody who can do it for you. So as I said, family is really important. So I want to share a little bit about me personally and a little bit about my family. So I've now been married for a couple of years to the lovely Peter Suksarkorn. He's from Thailand and we got married in the beautiful island of Koh Samui. It was absolutely fantastic. We also have a daughter called Ashan, who's 12 years old. And I'm really proud of my little family. We're growing together, and that's what I want to do with you. I want to grow with your business as you scale and grow bigger, and you take me on the journey with you. So if you need to know anything further, please do not hesitate to get in touch. Speak to you soon.
Good evening, everyone. So we are back now in our studio here in West London with the fabulous Michelle Raymond.
Hello.
The singing HR consultant.
The singing HR consultant.
Now, before we start, I have to ask, every time Michelle attends one of the high-profile events, she has to sing. She sang at the House of Parliament.
Yeah.
Can you do a little taste, like a cappella for us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me.
Wow. watching.
Thank you.
Amazing. Please have a sip of water. When did you realize, like as a child, that you actually could sing?
Yeah, I think being brought up in church, being brought up Pentecostal, where it's all about singing, it's all about praising, everything's all very loud. And I think it was from there. I used to sing when I was a child, I was in choir, and then as I got older, I started doing backing singing, so we call it BVs, backing vocalists. So it's just followed me throughout, and going on holiday and ended up singing and winning the Voice of the Sea.
Yeah,
that was different.
Yes.
So yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. It's the creative side of it.
You have a very powerful voice, even when you speak, right?
Yes.
So it's great because I've seen you done public speaking.
Yeah.
So you did the GuidedPR summit. We're going to talk
That's
about
right.
that. But when you present, it helps.
Yeah, it does. And
Projection of your voice.
Yeah, there's a few people I know who talk about voice resonance, and it's all from doing it from down here. And I noticed that the more I do public speaking, my voice gets lower.
Oh.
And because they say it's a man's world, so yeah.
I see. Okay.
There might be something in there.
Okay. So, and obviously you sound British, you have a British accent, but I know that your parents are not from here, right?
Yeah.
So where are they
So
from?
my parents are from Jamaica.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
So they're the ones that came on the Wind Rush.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're still here?
Yeah, they're both still here in London and in Birmingham.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you have family there as well?
I have family in Birmingham,
Yes.
and I've got family in Barbados and
Oh,
the
nice.
US and Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you visited them all?
I have visited them all, and now that I'm married to a Thai, I've got family in Thailand too.
Oh my God! You're married to a Thai.
I am. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What a mixture.
Very mixed.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And what was life like when you're young? Did you have any issues that you had to face, or that you had to overcome?
To be fair, I had a really easy life.
Did you sing at school?
I sang at school.
Were you
I was
popular?
always part of it. I was quite popular.
That's why. Okay.
But it's just one of those things. Oh, I think my biggest challenge was trying to be a good Christian growing up.
Are you religious?
And I'm quite religious.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think that's always been a struggle, because you want to do the right thing, but then you want to go out with your mates.
Yes.
You want to kiss all
You
these
wanna
boys.
have fun.
So yeah, kiss chase and all of that.
Yes.
So I think growing up being a Christian is always going to be a struggle, but yeah.
Okay, good. And so that was good. Then you went to uni.
I did. Yes.
What
I
did
went
you
to
do?
university. Gosh, I did human resource management, and before that, so I've been to university twice. Before that, I did communication studies with audio-visual production.
Oh wow!
Yes, I know all about
So
cameras.
all
Right,
these lights and cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, wow, fantastic. So then, why did you decide HR? It's not. It sounds like a job interview almost. Like why HR? But it's interesting.
Yeah.
That you can sing and you have this creative, artistic life, and then there is also this business side that you have.
Yeah, I think the HR came in. Well, it was triggered when I was made redundant in one of my roles, and they made me redundant when I was on maternity leave,
Right.
and I thought to myself, this can't be right. They haven't given me an option to see what other roles within the business I can do, and I thought to myself, gosh, I want to get into HR. I really want to understand how it works.
I
I want to understand the laws around it. So that's how I got into HR. Then my next role was a HR officer, and then I went up to HR manager.
Okay. Do you like it?
I really do love HR. I've seen it evolve over time, and I think as I grow into the business, now that I'm self-employed doing HR, I see it completely different from when I was an employee in doing HR. So now I can bring my morals, my NLP into HR when before I couldn't. So that's where I'm now really getting to love what I'm doing.
Sure. So now that you mentioned NLP, let's talk a little bit about the coaching side of things. I know that you are an NLP master. Yeah, so you can actually train others?
Yeah, so I went through all the stages. I did the foundation, and I've done my tests and my exams, and I use NLP a lot when I'm coaching, and I always let them know, because NLP some people can see it as manipulation. So I'm always very open with all my clients and say I'll use NLP, so I'll let you know when we're using it, so I don't do it underhandedly.
I see.
So
As if you're trying to manipulate a client.
Exactly.
I
Yes,
see.
no, I don't do
Okay.
that.
And for those that don't know NLP, can you just a very brief intro to what NLP is and what it does?
Yeah, so NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and it's how you use the mind and language to change patterns in your life.
Right.
So everything is about modeling. If you have a role model, you watch how they act, how they behave, and you use neuro-linguistic programming, so you make sure you're doing it the same way that they're doing. It's how you use your mind and your language to disturb patterns, to create new ways of working, new behaviours. I think for me, it's been mind-blowing. Things that's happened throughout my life, I was so glad that I had NLP to reframe it.
Can you give an example?
Yeah.
Like, for example, if we were
Okay.
I know it's hard, obviously we don't drop names of clients,
No.
but tell, you work with a lot of entrepreneurs,
Yeah,
right? So a
yeah.
lot of business owners, and can you give us an example of one thing that NLP can help an entrepreneur?
Yes, so for example, I had one particular client, and he had so many issues just dealing with this piece of work, or he couldn't understand why he wasn't staying consistent on it. So I said, what else is going on in your life? Because although he's come to me for business, I know that so much other aspects of his life will
Personal
impact
life
his
and everything,
business.
yes.
And then when we started talking further, I realised that his ex-wife played such a significant role in his current life and what he does. So we did a timeline on it. And then during the timeline, we went back to the first instance he remembers when things started going wrong. And then I got him to do a perceptual positioning, so see things from her point of view, see things from your son's point of view, and understand why she probably reacted that way during that time.
I see.
So when we walked through the timeline into the present day, he could understand what else was going on with her at that time. And so now, and then we just realised there was a shift in the way that he was doing business, because he never felt that pressure of his ex-wife in the background, because he could now see and understand where she was coming from. So it really helped.
Amazing. So,
Yeah.
and obviously, so that's what you help people to, especially with NLP.
Yeah.
So you see the problem in a different way. So you
Yes.
can, I don't need to think this way
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
And using specific language techniques
Right.
to get them out of situations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you use NLP, which is, I think, in a way, is very unique? So you use your coaching knowledge
Yes.
in HR.
Oh yes, definitely. I had a particular incident in HR where I was asked to come in because a number of contractors were being underpaid and they wanted to take the company to court. So I thought, instead of them trying to go to court, let me try and speak to them. So I asked to have one-to-ones with all of them. There was about 25 of them, and I had one-to-ones with them. And while I was talking to them, I was using NLP skills with them. And by the time we finished, none of them took the company to court.
Wow,
So
that's amazing.
yeah, so it can work, just subtly with certain interventions.
I see. Okay. So, do you think that you are successful in your HR consultancy because there's this element that you bring to it?
And that's what I use as my unique, USP.
USP.
Because there's not many companies that do HR and coaching with NLP. I'm probably one of the only black-led, female-run HR companies who uses NLP through their methodology.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So with entrepreneurs, everything is quite informal when they start, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think when people first start out in business, they never think of, I need HR. And they very rarely even want to do marketing. And marketing is critical to a business as well as HR. And why I say that is, if you want to grow your business, you have to get staff in. And even if you don't use your own staff and you contract or use an agency or use an intern, there is an element of people management.
Yes.
And it's how to manage your staff appropriately so that they work well together, that they understand the vision of the business, especially when you need to outsource. Whoever you're outsourcing to, you need them to understand the vision of the business. And that's where HR comes in, to make sure it's understood throughout the business, that they do things the way you like them to do, but also bring in their own elements. So that's the people management. But then there's the other side of it. You know, if you are going to take on staff, you need to look at pension, you've got to look at private healthcare, you've got to look at all the other things and contracts of employment. And so that's what we do. That's what we help with entrepreneurs, and just making sure you get those policies right. Because I do contracts, I do shareholders agreement, all partnerships, and all of those kind of things need to be done at the beginning, and not at the end, and doing it retrospectively.
I see.
Yeah.
That's when things can get messy.
Yeah, it's too late.
And now, very briefly, how did you, because I can't tell you how many requests I have from journalists, because we do PR, you're a member, and you get a lot of requests from journalists. So I know you just gave an interview today, this morning, yes. HR is in so much demand, which is great. But then there's something else that came on top, which is GDPR.
That's right.
And we have now someone in the group that also does GDPR. So it's kind of, you know, is that because it evolved and then you're like, okay, I need to evolve with this and make sure that there's a lot of data in HR, obviously. And so how did you, get involved? It's like, okay, I need to get this going and make sure that my clients also understands that I know GDPR because it's linked.
Yeah, well, last year I did my training in GDPR, so when nobody was talking about it, I knew about it. And then obviously at the beginning of this year, then I started seeing people start talking about it. So I thought, okay, let me come out there and show them what I know. And obviously with my clients, I started getting them, making sure they were compliant from quite early. But the turning point, I came home from church, and I said to my husband, oh, just quickly video me. I've got a whiteboard in my kitchen. Quickly video me, and I'm just going to talk through what GDPR is and what the deliverables are. I did it, and and you can see my messy kitchen in the background. I did it, put it on LinkedIn, and now, and that was like four weeks ago, over 22,000 views.
Oh my God.
Over 20, and it's mind blowing, and I had no idea. And then my phone was just ringing. And I just thought, so now what I've done, I thought, okay, let me just consolidate all that information and put into a pack and in a toolkit, and then be able to sell it, and people can do it themselves. Because it's very much time consuming. When you need to do it right, it's time consuming.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. And if people want to contact you, what do they do? So it's people's...
Yeah, so it's Michelle at thepeoplespartner.com.
Okay. You will see at the bottom of the screen as well.
Yeah, and obviously they can contact me through social media. That's
sure. Okay, so the singing HR consult. Do you sing in the office if you invite?
I sing all the time. I sing all the time.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So just before we end our interview, I always ask for our guests to say or to give a message. It could be, you choose the audience, say who this message is for, and then instead of looking at me, you're going to be looking at that camera over there.
Right, what message would I give? I'm going to pre-frame this message. A lot of the entrepreneurs I work with, they get really worried because they're not making as much money as they thought they would be making, and they sometimes have to go back into part-time work. And I always say, do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. So have no shame. Do not feel bad that sometimes you have to do a part-time job to keep the money coming while you're growing your business. Do what you have to do until you can do what you want.
Fantastic, thank you. That was a great message. Yes. So Michelle, it's in almost all of our events. So if you want to meet her in person, please join us. And if you want to be sitting here and sharing your story, having a laugh, so people can get to know about you and your business, join High Profile Club so you become more visible, more credible, and more influential. Until then, see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.